Hello students, welcome to the class. Now we are going to learn about how to create a web page using HTML and CSS. As you can see, there's a web page over here. I've used only HTML and CSS, right? So coming to the sections here, you can see there's a logo which I've used here. In the right side, I've used a navigation bar where I've used hover CSS styling over there, right? So there's a background image also here, and it says welcome to my website. There's a background image of a laptop. Then I've used something called scroll down. That means you have to scroll down to see the complete website. So when I come down, scroll it down, you can see there's some padding I've given, borders I've given, margins I've given, right? I've used different text stylings over here. And just to remind you, this is an example of a landing page. I've already given an assignment of a landing page, so this is an example of it. So this is done using HTML and CSS only. Now we can do this page using other different technologies as well, but I've used only HTML and CSS for your reference, right? Again, it says scroll down for more. So when I come down, you can see I've created a form. Oh, in our previous classes we learned about how to create form, but we did not learn about how to style that form, right? So in this class we are going to learn about how to style a form, how to style this input elements. Now let us see what are the three attributes I have given for the form. First thing is their name, right? So next thing is the age, and next thing is your type your message. So next thing is this submit button, but when I go to submit button, it changes its color, right? So we can use hover commands here also. So let us see one by one and understand how I have created this web page. Now what I'm going to show you is I have made it responsive. Now what do you mean by responsive? Just when I minimize it, you can see that the welcome to my website minimizes, just like this. You can see it changes its text and it widens, right? So I have used this CSS responsive here, right? So you can see scroll down also, it has come down like this. So when I come down, you can see the whole border and all the text have been responsive, and that is why it has become like this. You can see the form is also being responsive. If I go see, the form is increasing its size, and when I minimize the browser, like when I just make it smaller, you can see that the form is also being smaller. So I have used CSS responsive here, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to do it and what are the codes and what are the different elements I have used to create this. So let us go back to the code editor. Now this is the web page. I've given the web page name as home.html, right? So I have already told you to get the structure of the HTML, just press exclamatory mark and tab, you'll get the whole structure of the HTML. Now I have used a link. I've used an external style sheet here, that is link rel is equal to style sheet. The style sheet name is home.css, right? Here is my home.css. You can see my home.css. I have given all the styling elements here. I have used both inline and also the external style sheet, but here I have not used the internal style sheet. I have not included style here. So I have used only two things, that is external style sheet and also internal style sheet for some of the elements. Now these are all the meta, charset, UTF-8, Unicode. All these things are in the structure of HTML. You don't have to worry about it. When you press exclamatory mark and tab, you'll get all of those things, right? So I've given the title of the web page as sample web page. So if I go and check open with live server, you can see the sample web page is already being shown here, right? So this is sample web page. The title of the page I've given here is sample web page. Now head section is completed. Now in the body section, to create a navigation bar, what I have used here is, just I'll make it little bigger. You can see now. Let me just do it like this. Now here I have created a navigation bar first. To create a navigation bar, what I have used here is, I have used navigation element. So nav ID, I have assigned an ID because since I am using external CSS, I am going to use this ID here. ID is equal to nav. So I have given anchor tags. Anchor tag, the location is hash. Now hashtag means that it stays on the same page even if you click the about or whatever the navigation elements are. For example, if I go here and click it, it stays on the same page. So that is why I have used hash. If you give any other page here, for example, if I give www.google.com, so I'll save it. Now if I click on about, you can see something, it goes to one more page, but here I have to use HTTPS also. HTTPS colon, control save, go back. Now if I go and click on about, it goes to google.com. Why? Because I have to use this HTTPS as well. If you don't use HTTPS, it cannot get the website, right? So going back here, so let me remove this first. It should be hash, because I want it to be in the same page. That is why I'm going to use hash here. All the styling elements will be explained in the CSS now. So you can see I have assigned the ID here, right? Before that, let us go through all of this names I have given. That is about section I have given, contact also I have given, I have created a link, achievements I have created a link, and login page also I have created a link here. So I'm closing the nav tag now. So now let us go back to home.css, right? So let us go back here and check what are the styling elements which I have given. For the nav tag, I have given styling elements such as text align equals right. So why this text align equals right? Because it should go in the right. So what happens if I do it left? Let me do one thing. I'm going to do it as center and just check. Text align equals center, control save it. It comes to the center, right? So but navigation bar usually will be in the left side or the right side, right? So I'm going to give it as right once again. So right, I'm going to control save it. So it is in the right side now. So I hope you guys understood what is text align right here. Now the margin right, I've given 0px. I don't want any gap between the margin and the padding. But if you give more here, for example, if you give 10px or something, you can see that 10px gap which is there here. If you give 100px, there will be 100px gap. Control save. You can see there's 100px gap, right? So this is the gap between the margin and the padding. Now I don't want that, so I'm going to give 0px. If I go back, it comes back to the same position here, right? So this is about navigation. I've used styling. Two stylings I've given, that is text align equals right and margin right equals 0px, right? So but I have given hover commands for this. Now how does it happen? Hover commands I have given link here. Now since I have used a anchor tag here, I'm going to use anchor tag of hover, and color I have given as red. If I go near the anchor tag, it changes to color red. Now I'm going to give it as blue. It is already blue, so let me change it to black. So let me change it to black, control save it. If I go back, you can see the color has turned to black, right? So this is how you can use hover here, right? And also for the anchor tag, I have given the font style. So this is for the hover. So whenever it goes, it changes, right? But this is for the anchor tag. It is for the text also. I have given font style italic. If I don't, so you can see that it is italic here. If I don't want italic, I can give some other styles. For example, there are different styles available such as normal. You can find normal. If I go click on normal, control save it, you can see it is normal now, right? But it looks plain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use italic here. So let me go back and change it to italic. Now if I go back and check, it is completely italic, right? So this is how you can use font style in your anchor tag. Next comes the font family. In the font family, I have given different family, that is Arial. First, if Arial is not there, it will go to Helvetica, then sans serif. So let me change it to Impact and let's check the output of it. I'm going to change the font family to Impact, right? So control save it. Now you can see the whole text has been changed, right? You can see whole font has been changed here. Previously it was Arial, now it has been changed to Impact. Now if Impact is not available in your system, it will change to this, and if this is not available, it will change to Arial narrow bold, right? So this is how font family works. So next thing comes is the font size. I've given small size here, right? So let me do one thing. I'm going to give it as large. Save it. It is already large, right? So here in the font family, if you use this, will not work. Why? Because it is already large or already this. If I want it to be normal, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Arial here. Large I have given, control save, it is large now, correct? Now I'm going to give small. Let me go and check small. If I go back and check, it is completely small here, right? So you can give different elements. You can use XX large also. For example, if XX large I have used, it is too big here, right? So let me go back and change it to small itself. Go back and it has changed to small, right? So Arial you can also use that. So this is for the anchor tags available here. So now let me go back right? So anchor tag has been closed, the nav tag has been closed. So here also I have closed the nav tag and also the anchor tags, right? So the three styling elements which I have used, three styling selectors. One is anchor tag of hover, and the navigation tag, right? So these three things are done now. So next comes, what is next? I have used logo now. There's a logo here, right? TechVed Labs logo has been here. So how to put a logo? First of all, you need to have a logo in a PNG format. So for that, I have used, first of all, I have created division and also I have given the ID of it, that is logo, right? So I have given the hashtag. Why? Because if I click on the logo, it should be on the same page. So that is why I have given the hashtag here. Then I have given the styling, that is inline styling. I have given it for the logo, and also outline styling also I have given it here, but this doesn't matter. Why? Because the priority for a style sheet is always inline first, then comes external. So this will run first, then it will run, then this will run first, right? So now in the image, I'm going to click the image tag. I have selected the image tag here. Image tag, I have given the style, that is position is equal to absolute. So there are two different things you can use. You can use relative as well. So let us check if it is relative. Control save. You can see if you use relative, it will come down a little bit, but when you use absolute, it will go back to that position, right? So that is how you can use absolute and relative in while putting a image there, right? So next thing comes is top is equal to 0 and left is equal to 2. I want it to be in the top first and left first, so that is why it is here. But if I use, maybe if I use 20 here and check, there's nothing here, right? Now when I use 0, it will come back to the position. The same way, even left also, if I want 100, it moves its position to 100, right? Now I don't want that. I want it to be in the left side, so that is why I've used left 0 here, right? Here also I've used that, top 0 and left 0, but this doesn't matter. Why? Because I've already given it here. Next thing comes is the width. Now what does this width do? It will enhance the image. Now for example, if I give, it is 80 here, right? So if I go and give it as 800, control save, you can see the whole image has been widened to 800. This looks awkward, so that is why I've given 80 and control save. Proper width has been given to the logo here. The same way, even height also we can give. For example, if I give 250 and control save it, height has been given, but the logo is not shown. So that is why I'm going to use 25, and it is the proper thing for the logo there. That is width is 80px and height is 25px. Now I should give the source of the logo. I've already have the logo in my folder there, so that is why I've directly given the logo, that is TL logo small. So this is the name of it. If I want to go to that, I'll just go here and go to FSWD, go to codes. You can see the logo is already here. If you want to just copy the logo, you can just press F4, right? This is the path of the logo if it is somewhere outside the folder of the exact code which you are doing. But since this is already in the folder, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to rename, just copy this, don't rename it, just copy this and come back and paste it here, right? So this is how you can put the name of the logo here, .png. This is in a .png format, so that is why I have given .png. If it is in a JPEG format, you can give JPEG as well, but usually logos will be in .png format, so that is why I have given the source .png there. Now image style is closed. Now what I'm gonna do, I've already given the styling here, so there's no external style sheet. What I can do, I can remove the style sheet as well. Control save. It remains the same. Why? Because I've already given the inline style sheet there, correct? So it remains the same over there. So next thing which comes, again I've created the division tag is to create divisions. Now this division I've created for the background image. Now the image which I have been shown here, that is a laptop image, I've downloaded it from Google. You can also download any type of images. You can just search as abstract HD images, so you can find different type of images for your website and you can download it. Now I've downloaded this laptop image, right? So I've given that image name as background.jpg. It is already there in my folder. So how to add an image, I've already showed you for the logo. The same thing, I've created one more division called class here, class container. Now this image I have created a division called container, and inside that division I have placed the background image. Now let us see. Image style I have given as width 760px. Now why width? I have to select this, right? I have to completely make sure it should be in the proper dimensions. Now if I give 7600px, control save, you can see when I scroll down it is not there at all, but because the width of the image has been increased to 7000px, I don't want it. I want it to be 760px. that is why it is in the this format. Again, it depends on your system size, your screen size, right? It depends, because you don't have to use the same format what I have used here. You can change the px according to your screen size and do it, right? Height also I have given 3335. If I give 3350, you can see the height, it has been increased to 3350. It looks very awkward, right? So that is why I'm going to use 335. So this perfectly sets for your screen. It depends on your screen size as well. You can make changes here to create your background completely on a single page, right? So next thing comes is the source. I have given the background.jpg here. The source I have given there. So next thing comes, again I have created a class called centered. Now this centered class I have created for this text. For this text called welcome to my website. You can see here I have created a division. I should display it on the image. So that is why I have created a division, that is class is equal to centered welcome to my website. Correct? So let me go back first. Let me explain about this container, the stylings which I have given in this container. In this container I have given class, so that is why I am going to use this dot operator. So dot container position is equal to relative. But if I use absolute, let us check the difference. Let us check if there is a difference. There's no quite difference, but yes, there's a difference here. You can see if you don't use container, there's a difference here. That is why you have to use relative here. Once you use relative, the proper styling will be there for all the different sections, right? So that is why I've used relative here. Now text align, I have given it as center. Correct? Text align, all the text should be on the center. Next comes color, I have given it as white. Margin is auto. Z index determines the position on an image, right? If you give 10 here, it will change. Correct? This I have given for container, just reminding you. For the text I have given it as center. This is for the image. Correct? So Z index doesn't matter here for that now. Correct? So now here it is centered, right? So let us go back to centered and see what I have given. This is the centered. Now in centered I have given position is equal to absolute, that is it should be on the image. But if I use relative here, just reminding you once again, centered is for this text. Okay, welcome to website. So let me go back and change it to relative. Control save. It is not there. Why? It has come down somewhere. I've given relative, but relatives means it can adjust itself to the proper commands which I've given here. But I want it to be absolute. That means it has to stay at one place. Control save, go back. It is in this position. Now why this position? Because I've given this here. Where is that? I've given this, that is top 30% have given, left 50% have given. If I change it to 60%, control save, you can see it moved towards right, that is by 10px. Why? Because I had given 60. If I give it 50, it will be in the center. Correct? So that is the difference between using left. Top, if I use it at 50, control save, it has come down. Correct? So likewise you can give 30, go back to the same position, right? So this is how we can use this. Position is equal to absolute, top 30%, left 50%, right? Now transform, if I comment the transform, just comment it off, or let me do one thing, I'll just remove this as of now. Control save, there's nothing. You can see it completely changed the entire thing. I want to use that. Let me go back, transform, translate of 50%. You will have to use it to make sure it has to come to the center. Correct? So this is how we can use translate of -50%. -50% means it is in the center here, right? The next thing comes is the font family. I've used the font called Gill Sans MT, Calibri, Trebuchet, MS and sans serif, right? So you can use any type of family you want. You can just add. For example, if I want to be other family, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove this first. Yes, I'm going to remove this first. So after removing, I'm going to add, maybe I'm going to add Arial Arial semicolon, control save, you can see it is Arial now, correct? But the previous one looked nice, so let me go back and add the previous one, control save, it is the previous one now, correct? So you can add any font family if you want, right? So next comes the font size. I've given large size here. If you want it to be small size, you can put SMALL small size. It has changed to small size here, correct? You can see there's a small size. Okay, now again I'm going to give it to large. Large was good, so large, control save, it is large size here, right? So next CSS I have used here is the color. I have used this color RGB function I have used here, and I have given 255, 255, 255. 255 means white color, right? Or if you give all the numbers as 255, it is white. If you give all the numbers as 0, it is black. But you can also use directly as white, but since to show an example of how RGB can be used, I have used RGB. If you want to use white color directly, you can use that as well. Next thing comes is the font style. I've used italic style. I've told you there are so many different styles available. For example, there's normal style available, correct? Italic is there, bold is also there. For a good purpose, I'm going to use italic, so it is italic, right? So this is the centered CSS. As you can see, there are different CSS here. I've used content for the welcome to website. I've used this container centered class here. So for that centered class, I've been using this dot centered here, right? So I hope you guys understood that. Next, I've created one more division called scroll down. This scroll down I have used. Scroll down I have used and given it a name called down class. So let me go back, down class. I've used this down class. In the down class CSS, I've given different CSS styling here, right? So let me go back and check each and everything now. Here to make it easier, let me just make it little bit here. Let me just do it here, right? So here, great. So now you can see top 70% I have given. So let me check if I give 50% what happens. Control save, it comes up, correct? So usually it should be down, so I'm going to give 70% and it came down, right? I am wondering, you guys must be wondering that how this black dotted thing is appearing in this above this scroll down. I'll just show you how to do it as well. So bottom I have given 100%, so it should be in the bottom. Left is 50%, so left 50% means that it should be in the center of that. It should be in the center of the web page. So that is what left 50% mean. The next thing comes transform. I already told you minus 50% should be allowed, should be given to make it to center there. So that is also I've given there. Next comes the font family. Now font family I've used to given the different text font which I've used here. I've used Gill Sans here, the same as that. But here I have not used the italic style. I've just given it like that. If I want it to be italic style, just simple, I'm going to add font style and italic. Okay, so once I do it, control save, you can see it is italic now. You can use that also. Next comes font size. Font size I've given XS large here, so large font size I've given here. Next thing comes color. Color also I've given RGB, and to show you guys an example of how RGB can be used, you can directly use here. I've given red. Control save. You can see it is red color there, correct? The red color does not look nice, so I'm going to give white as well, so completely white. So control save, it is white color there, correct? So that is how you can use RGB. The next thing comes is the border style. Now border style, now here you can see this is a border which I have given here. So for the border I have given as dashed, so that is why you can see the dashed here, right? So border collapse I have given no collapse, which I've already told you in the previous class while we were using the tables, right? So border bottom I have given dashed, text align equals center. Let me check if I don't use this what happens. Control save, nothing happens. If I don't use border collapse also, nothing happens. But if I don't use border style, there's no border at all. So I'll have to go back, Control Z. Yes, text align equals center I've given because it should be in the center. If I don't use this, that's also not a problem. Why? Because you have used the left bottom there, correct? I don't want the border, so let me remove that border. Control save. There's no border now, correct? So this is how you can put the, this is an example of the down class which I have used in our HTML, right? So the next thing which comes is I've closed both the division tags. Okay, I've closed both the division tags. We don't want the division tags now. All the three tags, for example, see here I have opened the division tag, I've closed it here, correct? Next I have opened the division tag, I've closed it here. Again for the division tags, I've closed it here. So let me remove all the division tags now. The next thing which comes here is section tag. Now section tag is used to create different sections. Just like how divisions have created, sections are also being created. Here to create a section, now the next thing which comes is the section. Now this is a section which I have created. Okay, so this is a section which have, this is the divisions I have created. Now when you come down, this is the section which have been created. Now first element in the section is the welcome to landing page. So to do that, what I have used this h1 tag. H1 tag id is equal to h1 id. I have assigned a id to it, that is h1 id. Welcome to landing page. I have given the text there. So let us see the styling of it. There's no much styling over here, right? Only 3 styling I have used. H1 id. Why hash? Because this is a id, so that is why hash should be used. If it is a class, you have to use dot. This is the selectors, id selectors, right? So h1 id I have given the name there. So again I'm calling it here. I have given text align equals center. Why? Because text align should be in the center. The text is in the center, right? So that is why I have given text align center. The next thing comes is the font size. Now font size I have given it italic. That is why it is italic over here. If I want it to be normal, I can just go back, click on normal, control save. You can see it is normal. So let me go back and do it italic itself, because italic was nice. So italic. If you want to give color also, you can just add here. Next comes the font family. Now font family I have given as impact here. If you want it to be changed to Arial, Tribucket and all those things, you can do that, no problem. You can choose whatever text you want, you can choose whatever font style you want, font size you want. It depends on your landing page, that is your home page. However you want, you can style it. But since I have done it, I have used this. This is just a basic example to create a HTML file using HTML and CSS only, right? So that is why there's only 2 files here, and I have not included in JavaScript file here, right? There's only 2 files. One is HTML file and one is the CSS file. So this is about the h1 tag, right? So next thing, I've created an article and I've assigned a class name for it called art. So inside that article, I have a header. Inside a header, I've created h1 tag once again. So let me go back here. This is the h1 tag. The next comes, this is an example of landing page, that is the paragraph tag. Next again, this is done using the HTML and CSS only, that is also a paragraph. Next thing comes is the scroll down for more, that is also a paragraph, right? So I've closed the header here and I've closed the article here. So I've closed this section here also. This is one section, right? So here, let me go and check each and every styling which I've created. Now let me go and check the styling for art, the art class. So here for the art class, I've given 3 different stylings. Now let me go back. This whole section is the art class, right? So whole section is the art class. So here what I have given the text align to center. That means every text, whatever comes, should be in the text. Now you can see this text is also in center. This text is also in the center, but this font size is big, so that is why it is in the center here. Next, this text is also in the center, and this text is also in the center, right? So that is why I've given center here. The next thing comes is the border. Border I have given 15px the border width. Then the solid should be solid. Then it is RGB color again, 14, 14 and 31. That is why you are getting this border. Correct. If I want to see some changes for the border, let me do one thing. I'm going to give it as 20px. Control save. Go back. You can see the border width increased, but this is too much. So let me go back and give 15 only. Okay. So that is why it changed here. Now it is solid here, right? So let me do one thing. I'll give it as dashed. Control save. You can see it is dashed now. Correct. it is not a normal solid border. You can see it is dashed border. And if you want it to be dotted border also, you can go back and give dotted, control save. You can see it is a dotted border, right? You can give any border style you want. Then comes RGB. I've given this color. So let me do one thing. I'm gonna change the color first. I'm gonna make it little dark here. So control save. You can see blue color, dark blue color has been here, right? So you can use this as well. This is for the whole article, so that is why I have given art here. Now comes individual things, that is H1ID2. What is H1ID2? Let me go back. H1ID2 is hello everyone. Now hello everyone, so let me go back to CSS and hello everyone. Hello everyone, I have given the red color here and also I have given the borders here. Now text, first of all, text align should be center, so that is why I have given text align equals center. Okay, where is it? It is already there, you don't have to give it. Why? Because you have already given for the article. After the color should be red, so the red color is here. Next, border style I have given, that is solid. You can see the solid border color. Padding I have given 0px, so there is no difference. Next, margin I have given 50px, so let me do and change it to 100px. Control save, go back. You can see margin, there's a gap over here, right? So margin left a gap of 100px, we don't want it. Let it be 0px. Control save, go back. There's zero difference between the border and the text, so let me give 20px. Go back, check. Yes, this is perfect, right? So there's difference here also and there's here also, correct? So now next thing which I have given is the paragraph, correct? The first paragraph. What is the first paragraph which I have given here? First paragraph I have given as, this is an example of a landing page. Now this is the first paragraph I have given. So let me go and check the styling of it. First paragraph I have given the font family as Verdana, Geneva, Tahoma and sans serif. If Verdana is not available in your system, it will go to Geneva, then it will go to Tahoma, correct? So it depends on what font you want to use there, correct? So next thing comes is the color blue. Since this is the color blue which I have given, correct? So there is color blue here. Next I have given font size as XS large, that is why this output has this is large here. If I want it to be small, you can just add small, control save, go back, and you can see it is small now, correct? So this is not good, so I'm going to change it to large again, correct? If I want to give any other extra styling as well, you can give it here. So this was the first paragraph. The next paragraph is this is done using HTML and CSS only. This is for the second paragraph. Now second paragraph I have selected here and I have given the font family as impact. And next, all those things remains the same. Next I have given font weight as bold, correct? If you don't want bold, you can just remove this, correct? And next, font size I have given XXS large, so that is why it is large in size here, correct? So next paragraph which we have here is the scroll down for more. Now for that, what I have used, I have directly given it in inline. So let me go back. You can see I have directly given it in the inline. I have not created in the CSS. I have directly given it, correct? So background color I have given an aquamarine. Then I have given the color for the text, that is dark magenta. Next I have given the font size large, so that is why you are getting something like this, right? So even if you want to do padding, margin, border style, border weight, font weight, border width, all these things, you can do it in your styling as well. Or if you want to do it inline, you can do it in your inline as well, right? So this was about the article, right? So article, this was an article. This was the border here. Next comes your text stylings here, the border, margin, padding and all those things I have. Your background color I have used here, correct? The next section which comes is your form section. Now in the form section I have created one more section here. I have started a section here and I have ended the section here. So in this section the form should be available. So in the form I have used the H1 first, that is this section that is getting started with forms. So here I have given the border, not the border, I have given the background color, correct? I have increased the border here also. You can see I have directly given it inline, so I have not created a external sheet for it. I have directly given it in your inline statement as well. So here I have used, first of all, getting started with forms, but this is huge, right? You can directly go and do it in the external, but For your explanation, I have given it inline. Inline also we can use n number of CSS elements to color or style your HTML tags. Now first of all, color, I have given this color. You can see the color. Next I have given the background color. You can see the background. Next I have given padding. Also padding I have given as 20px 0. You can see the padding here. Next font size, that is 140%. Let me go and do it to 100%. Control save. You can see the font size increased now, correct, 200%. Next font weight I have given 300. If you want it to be 600, you can control save it. Font weight increased to 600, correct. Next thing comes is your text align. Yes, I have given the center here so that this getting started is in the center. If you want it to be in your left, you can directly give it to left, control save. You can see it is in the left now, but left doesn't look good, so that is why I am going to use it as center. Okay, let me go back. Yes, center. Then now you can see it is in the center. The next thing I have given the color. Let me do one thing. I'm just going to remove this. This does not add any value here, right? So this color has been taken. Color, control save. Right. If I do one thing, let us check an example of, if I give two colors, let me see what happens, which color it takes. I'm going to give yellow, control save. It takes yellow. Why? Because there's a rule in style sheets or in designing CSS. Whatever is declared last, if the same element is used again, whatever is declared in the last, now that will be taken, that will be considered, right? So here again I'm going to give one more color. Let me give one more color, and I'm going to give it as dark blue. Control save. You can see it is blue. So what is declared at the last, so that point, that CSS will be taken and considered for the styling. So whatever you do first to, it will not matter. So whatever is declared in the last, that matters as well, right? So this is about the getting started with forms. So I have created this getting started with forms. Next I have created a form. This is not a normal form which I have created. In the normal form there's no styling, there's no elements inside it. You can see there's different things available. For number you can add the number. There's a button here, you can just click this, you can directly add numbers, and once you click this, the whole form entry mode will be on. You can see some entry mode is there. Like if I click, it is called focus. This is called a focus. When you click on it, it will entirely change it glows, right? So this is called as the focus. Now we can use that. First of all, let us see how to create a form. I have created a division for it. Division class is equal to form style. I have given a class name called form style. Next thing I have given h1, that is contact us. So this is the h1 contact us, right? All the styling I have given in the CSS. Now next comes the form. Actual form starts here. Action is equal to ash means that whenever you click the submit button, it should be on the same page. It should not go in any other page. It should remain in the same page. So that is why we are going to use hash there. If you give any other page, whenever you click on submit, it will redirect to the next page. As simple as that. Now starting with the input type. First of all, first input type is the text. Why text? Because this is the name, right? So that is why I have given the text here. Input type equals text. Name equals field 1. You can give any name if you want. Field 1 I have given. Next comes the placeholder, your name. So you know how the placeholder works. If you just give name here, you can see there's only name, right? So you can use any placeholder you want. Next input is the number input. Now let me tell you, while using the text, there's no different things available. You can write your text here like this, but when you use a number, you can see I've used the number here. Name is equal to field 2. You can give any name there. Then your age. So let me do one thing. I'm going to give age here. Control save. Go back. Age, name and age, correct? But when you click a number, you can see this happens. This will be shown on your. You can choose this for. If you use a number, you can find this button. If you don't use a number, you won't get it. You can go into minus as well. For example, let me show you. This is a minus number also. Since you have used a number here, you can use this different thing which is available here, that is the scroll button. You can use to click on this to get maximum number, you can click on this to get minimum number and all those things, correct? When you use a number, you're gonna get that. Next thing which comes is the text area. Now there's one more input type I have not explained to you in the previous forms. Here I have used something called text area, right? Here I can type whatever text I want. Welcome to TechWord Labs, something like this, right? So this is a text area. So I've used the text area input here. Text area name I've given field 3. Placeholder I've given type your message, or you can use any placeholder you want. I've closed the text area here, right? So next thing which I've used is the input type of submit. As you know, submit we have already used, but I've used some different hover function here for submit. Submit value is equal to submit. So this was about your forms. Then I've closed the forms here. Then I've closed the division tag. This division tag I've closed it here. Then I've closed the complete section, and also I've closed the HTML here. So let us go back and check how do we style the form first. Now for the first form style, this form style, where is it? Let me go back and check. This is the form style for the division. I've used division class, so the form style. So what should be the form style? Form style I've given font 95%. It should be Arial, correct? So let me do one thing. Let me go back and put 50%. Control save. Come down. You can see this contact and contact button was reduced, right? So if I give it as 100%, contact us will be changed back to 100%. So that is how it works. Next, max width. Why this form style? Because I've given this class for form style for this particular contact us. Okay, go back. Yes, now max width is 400 px. You can give 500 px, 10 px, 20 px. It depends on your website. It depends on what you exactly want to do, correct? So you can use whatever you want there. Now the next thing which comes is the margin 10 px auto. Instead of 10 px, let me go back and check how it looks. Now I'm going to give it as 100 px. Control save. Go back. Correct, it gave the margin space of 100 px here. You can see the margin space 100 px. I don't want it to be 100 px, so let it be 10 px. Control save. Go back, and you can see there's no much difference between the margins here, correct? So this is how we can use margin auto also. The padding comes 16%. I've given us 16%. The difference between the border and the text, that is the padding. You can see the padding is here, right? 16 px. If you want to be 10 px, 160 px, control save. Go back. You can see again there's a space here. You can see there's a space, correct? So I don't want this space, so that is why I've given 16 px. Go back. You can see there's no much space here, correct? So this is how you can use padding. Next, the background color which I've given is the white color, almost white, little white and some other mixed colors. If you want it to be completely RGB, just control save. Go back. It is completely white. The background is completely white here, correct? Now form style of H1. Now form style of H1 means this. Form style of H1 means this. H1. For H1, what I'm gonna do? For H1, I'm gonna choose a background color of RGB. You can see the background color of this. This is the background color, correct? Padding I've given us 20 px. If I go and put 200 px and control save, you can see the whole 200 px will be taken. I don't want this, so that is why I've given us 20 px. Control C. Now you can see the padding here, correct? Next comes font size. Font size I have given as 140%. If you want to change it to any number, you can directly change and see the changes. Next you have font weight. Font weight, if you want 300, 400, 500, 1000, 2000, okay, all those things are available. You can choose font weight as well to create your different styling for the form. Now text align center. Why? Because it is in the center. Now if I go back, if it is in the center, correct? If I do one thing, if I go back and check, change it to left first, control save, it is in the left. So I don't want it to be in the left, I want it to be in the center. So that is why I have given center here, correct? Now next comes the color of the text. It is white in color, correct? Now if I want it to be different color, maybe I will give it as black, Control save, go back, check the output. You can see the different color, that is black. Correct. You can give any different color if you want. Next, margin. If you want margin, right, top, bottom, left, right, all those things you can directly give it here. The next important things which comes here is the form style, that is input styles, what I'm gonna use. Now I'm gonna select all the three here, that is input type text, input type number, text area. All the three input types I've taken here. Next, I've given the outline as none, so there's no outline available here, so that is why there's no outline here, so that is why I've given none. Next, this two box, this three actually is very important. Correct. This is used to actually do the styling based on the borders here, right? So that is why you can see the border box, WebKit border box sizing, box. These are the different box sizing which are available. If you don't use this three, if I control save it, if I go back, correct, you can see that this is somewhere out of the exact border availability. You can see this has come here. So that is why if you have to do the forms and all those things to create a proper border, you must use these three things. And now see, if I go back, you can see it is in the center, proper center. Correct. So that is why you will have to use this box sizing, border box, hyphen WebKit box sizing, border box. All these things are predefined. You don't have to do any extra changes in it. You will just have to copy this and paste it. You will get exactly the center of the things. Next comes, it depends on your, again, it depends on how are you gonna place your form on the web page, right? I have placed it in the center, that is why I've used this. If you don't want it to be in the center, don't use it. Correct. It depends on how you exactly create your form. So next is width 100%. Why width 100%? Because I will have to make it responsive. To make the form responsive, I'm going to use this 100%. Previous classes we have already dealt with it. The next thing comes the background color. The background color is white here, so that is why I'm going to use white here. Next comes margin bottom. Margin bottom I've given as 4%. Let me do one thing. Let me give 1% and check. You can see the difference now. The form is little shorter. Let it be 4% only, so it would be normal form. So go back, you can see there's space now. Correct. So 4% margin bottom can also be given. Border, yes, border I've given as 1px solid and this color. So that is why this border has been there. You can see the border. Correct. Next, padding I have given as 3%. If you want 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%. Correct. So you can give any number if you want to make your form look attractive. The color I have given as this color, ash 555. You can see the color of that. Correct. You can see this is not perfectly in black color. Okay, it is little bit color of this color basically. Correct. If you want it to be black, you can just give black. Control save, go back. You can see it is black. Correct. So you can use that also. Well, let me go back and remove. Let me put this color only because this looks nice. Correct. So this was looking nice, so let me keep the same color. Hashtag 555. Next, the font. Instead of adding font style, font width, font border and all those things, I've just added directly in one statement, that is the font size should be 95%. Next comes the Arial, font style, font family I've given here. Correct. So you can use any other font family. Let me use impact all here also. Let me use impact. Or let me create one more thing here, that is font family of impact. Control save, go back. You can see impact has been applied. Correct. So placeholders, all the impact has been applied, even the placeholder and also the text, all these things have been turned to impact family here. Correct. If you want it to be little bit increasing the size, font size of I'm going to give large. Control save, go back. You can see the font size has been increased, so but this looks awkward, so let me remove it. Control save, go back. You can see the output, right? So the next thing which I've used for the focus. Now what is the focus? When I click on it, you can see some difference happening. This is called as the focus. It focuses on a particular element, just like hover we used previously, the hover here, correct? Just like that, there's one more pseudo selector, that is the focus. The three basic pseudo selectors, that is hover, active and focus. Now this is called as the focus. So let me go back and check the CSS command for it. You can see I have used I have used focus here, focus for text and number. Text area also I have given the focus here, correct? So let me do one thing. Box shadow I have given as 0, 0, 5px. Color, what should be the color when you focus? Let me do one thing. I'm gonna change it to yellow. Okay, maybe red. Yeah, I have given red. Control save. Go back. If I click on it, yeah, I have to give it here. You can see the border has been changed to red here, correct? So you can use that also. If you want, you can just add color, dark golden cyan. Let me just check. You can see the color also there, correct? If I don't want dark, I can put black. You go back, you can see when I click on it, it is, when the placeholder is normal, but when I click on it, it turns to black, correct? So you can use that also there. Let me check if background color is available. Background color of blue. Control save. Now let me check. You can see the background colors, correct? So you can play with it. You can use any of the CSS coloring elements to actually add all those things. Blue violet does not look nice, so let me add red also, red here. Control save. Now when I click on it, it changes to red. Control, maybe just refresh it first. You can see how you can give different colors to the form, correct? So this is the focus. This is very important. Just like how you use, for example, if you want to use hover, you can just add this, right? To use hover, you have to add this. To use focus, you will add this, correct? So this is how you can use focus in your HTML page as well, right? The next thing which I have given for the submit and the button. Now for the submit, I have used you can see width I have given as 100%. So this 100%, why? Because it should be responsive. That is why I have used 100% here. Next, padding I have given the 3%. Now whatever is in the contact, you can use that also, but if you want to there's some difference between the contact, and you can see it is much bigger, but for the submit I have not given that much big element there. So you can use different also here. You can use background of color. Background color I have used this. If I wanted to be pure red, just go back, see the output, it is pure red, correct? So you can change that. Border top style I have given none. Border right also I have given none. Border left style also I have given none, correct? So if you want, you can give the border style. If you don't want, please don't give the border style. So it depends on you, how you are creating that particular form, correct? So next, color. The color size, that is the color of the submit. Color is the white here. Red is the background, white is the color. But I've used this hover here, right? This hover. To use hover, I've used this hover. You can see this hover, right? So inside our form style input, type is equal to submit hover of this color. Okay, just you can remove this button. I have not used any button here. If you want to use a button, you can use that and add this button. I've used it previously, but I've removed that. You can directly remove it here also. Let me do one thing. I'll just remove it. Okay, control save. If you remove it also, it works the fine, so it doesn't matter. Here also, if you want, you can remove the button here. Okay, it doesn't matter. Why? Because there's no button which I've given in my form. Okay, if you want to add button type equals button, you can add a new button, right? So this is how you can entirely make your HTML interesting using CSS commands, right? So let me brief you exactly what we did here. We created a HTML file and also an external CSS file. So for some things we use inline CSS, for some things we use external CSS, correct? So but majority I used external CSS. Why? Because I don't want HTML to be confusing. because see, now it looks little bit confusing. Why? Because the text is somewhere here, the text styling is somewhere here, correct? But if you use external files, you can just add the text here like this, and all the stylings can be done here, correct? So that will be more feasible for all the programmers, and that is a good way of programming, correct? So this is how you can create your own web page, right? So this was about creating a web page using HTML and CSS only. Remember, we have not used any JavaScript here. This is just was created using HTML and CSS within half an hour and 1 hour. Even you can do it within half an hour and 1 hour. Please go and practice this once.